SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll A. Fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Hey, we're glad you are. This is Bob Getty in the Southern Bancorp Studios. SuperTalk Eagle Hour back on the air. Kelly and Andrew out, but I got some great guests today, so we're going to have a fun time on the Eagle Hour. Opening segment is sponsored by Dickey's Barbecue Pit, a great place to take your family for a wonderful meal and a great place to cater your next event. With football just around the corner, Dickey's is a go-to place for tailgating. So be sure you tell them that you heard about them on the Eagle Hour, and we guarantee you that Dickey's Barbecue will set you up. Later in the show, Patrick Irby is going to be here from Anatomies. We've got some really cool stuff to talk to him about. But first, I want to bring a guest back on the show that I'm proud to say is a really good friend of all of us associated with the Eagle Hour. He's no stranger to anybody that follows Southern Miss. He had 406 tackles in his wonderful career, 46 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 3 interceptions. First team All-Conference USA, 96, 97. Truly one of the great – there have been a lot of great football players at Southern Miss, but none any better than my guest. And I'm happy to say my friend Marchant Kenney. Marchant, how have you been, brother?
Bob, with an intro like that, I'm doing even better, man. And speaking of great friends, yes, that's absolutely what we are. And what I do love about this, I've been on Eagle Hour with you a bunch, but Kelly's always been there, kind of hovering a little around. It's just me and you. We may get down to business and have some serious talk today.
Well, it may be me. Kelly is laying on the beaches of Waikiki Beach in Hawaii as we speak. So if you can get that out of your head, we'll
I picture Keller as one of those drinks with about 18 umbrellas in it, straws that curl. He's having a good old time.
Yeah, correct. Well, it's a well-earned vacation. But I'm glad to have you on the show, man. And, yeah, you and I could talk football forever. But so let me get started, and I just want to get Marchant's view of the new regime, the new day at Southern Miss football, and kind of an overview, Marchant, of what you're seeing and what you think the rest of us may see.
Well, I've met Coach Huff in person twice now, and really got to kind of a little more in depth in his philosophies and his takes, and what I love about him, if you look at his resume, he was an associate head coach for Nick Saban. He's kind of got that all about the process vibe. There could be wins, there could be losses, distractions, all sorts of stuff in your social life, but it is about the day-to-day, minute-to-minute process, and he talks like that. He acts like that. And you can see it instilled in the team. I was able to go to the New Orleans Southern Miss tour where Coach Huff spoke and Jeremy McClain spoke, and got to talk with Braylon Braxton and Chris Jones, the up-and-coming nasty buncher. But you can just see it in their eyes. It's a little bit more assertiveness, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more security, and we're going to get the job done. But it's all about the process. They don't depart from that, and that's not just football. That's life, man. You do the process right, you're going to be okay.
One thing I see just from a distance looking at it, and I hear this word a lot being thrown around, Marchant, is discipline. How important is that?
Man, discipline's everything. I had a wild hair on me back in the day. There's no doubt about it. I was a fun-loving guy. But I knew better than to cross that Jeff Bauer line that he made. I knew better than that. And Coach Huff kind of runs the ship very similar. And, it's regimented, it's organized. I hear a word of the guys saying they've never worked this hard in their life behind the season, so they're putting in the work for sure. And but it is a disciplined approach. If you had one-on-one with Coach Huff, you'd see exactly what I'm talking about. You know what you're getting, and he's telling it to you.
Interesting comparison. Compare what little you know, or what you know about Coach Huff and Jeff Bauer. I think that's interesting that you brought that up.
Well, yeah, what I see. Well, I always do like to look at some similarities, obviously, and then we were fun-loving guys. I mean, D1 athletes, just like the guys are today, and he lets those guys have fun. When it's time to have fun, go do your thing, man. You're young. Go have fun out there. But when it is time to work, it is time to work. And if you don't work the right way, well, we're going to start it over and do it over again, or you're going to learn how to right now on the spot. And it's just there's a loving factor from a coach. There's a leadership factor, but there is a discipline factor. You just meet Coach Huff, and there's discipline going on right now.
Yeah, Marchant, one thing that I think guys like me long for is to see Southern Miss play defensive football the way they did when you were there. How far away are we from that again, you think?
Well, the parts and pieces have been put in place, as you can see in the offseason. We have some studs on defense. And I know Chris Jones is a young guy up and coming, but my goodness, he's got all the talent in the world at linebacker, and I think he'll be freed up a lot more to make a lot of plays. Josh Moten at cornerback. If you haven't followed Josh Moten at cornerback, check him out. He's as good as anybody in America. So they're putting parts and pieces together, and I did meet Coach Seymour. Had about 5-10 minute talk with him behind the scenes, and he's a defensive coordinator, man. He's everything you want in a defensive coordinator. The way he delivers his message, there's nothing sugarcoating. It's football talk with that guy. So we're dying for the Nasty Bunch to get back, dying for it. And I know it's a little early right now, but game one, we'll see. You have every shot in the world to make a name for yourself and get that Nasty Bunch moniker back, and not just back, but deserve to have that moniker.
Yeah, when you look around in the Sun Belt, of course, you're close to the University of Louisiana. They're picked to win the West. James Madison picked to win the East. But Marchant, am I wrong about this? That there's so much turnover now in college football. It's very, very, very difficult to predict how a team is going to be until you see them on the field.
Extremely unpredictable. Some of these preseason polls, they're just comedy. I mean, ESPN had us way down the rankings based off of what basically happened last year and things. So, but you just can't do that anymore. I mean, you saw Texas State, for example, a couple years ago. We beat them up there, and then they come in our place and absolutely annihilate us. They were a different team, and that's happening nonstop. It's a year-to-year process. One of the things I do love about Coach Huff, he talks old school kind of an approach, but he coaches and talks also in 2025. He knows, this NIL transfer portal deal isn't going away, and there'll be some changes, but you gotta make it happen now, because you see it all the time, the turnover. So don't base this Southern Miss team off of 1-11. Do not.
Right. All right, so you open up with Mississippi State, then you've got Jackson State coming here, which we hear is a very talented Jackson State football team, but nevertheless, it's a SWAC football team. And then you've got Appalachian State, which to me has always seemed very similar to Southern Miss, kind of a blue-collar, low-profile, just tough, nasty football program. Look at those first three games, Marchant, and tell us how important are the first three games for setting the tone the rest of the season?
Well, first up, Bob, it makes me jealous because in '97 we had 4 home games. You're telling me they opened the season with 3 straight home games and they have 7 at home?
That's correct.
I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous, Bob. With those first 3 games at home, I mean, you talk about teed up to make a name for yourself. You just can't get any better than that Mississippi State at the Rock. And Jackson State's always a packed house. And if they look good, and if we look good, which I think we will those first 2 games, I think a lot of people have been excited to play Appalachian State when we're ready, for the upper echelon of the Sun Belt. And that's the Rock versus the Rock. It's black and gold versus black and gold. That could be another gigantic crowd. I will say that anybody listening to this debating going to games or not, they've been losing or whatever for a while, and just remember how important it is to these players to see people in the stands. Braylon Braxton at the New Orleans meeting stressed. He had never really played in front of a sold-out, really big, hyped crowd at home at Marshall. And we can do that game one. And if you think players don't feed off of that, And what's more important than getting the players fired up? I just don't know what else to tell you. So these first 3 games, man, boy, you talk about the scheduling gods. Loving Coach Huff.
Yeah. All right, 60 seconds left in this segment. One more thing about the first 3 games, Marchant. Does it concern you at all that there's so many new players on the team coming from every direction that it may take some time to gel and develop a chemistry?
I would be concerned maybe with a prior regime, but this current one, like I said earlier, he coaches, he talks like the landscape as it is in 2025. He's knows how to turn a team and make them gel and get them together to play as one, because he's got this process approach and he's got this discipline approach, and this is where we're going. If more come on board here, we're going to do great things. And he's an easy person to follow if you want to win. And they're led by somebody who is coaching like it's 2025. It's just part of the process. There is turnover. So all these preseason rankings, you might as well throw them out, because there's no way. I'm not going to rank Southern Miss, but they're lower echelon Sun Belt with all this talent.
There we go. Marchant Kenney going to continue with us on the other side of the break. I'm going to ask Marchant to give us an overview of college football from a man that played it at an extremely high level. We'll be back with Marchant, other side of the break. Quickly remind you about Mo Beignet Company, 2902 Hardy Street in Hattiesburg. Great place for dessert. I bet Marchant knows a thing or two about beignets. Genesis of Hattiesburg is the official auto dealer of the Eagle Hour. Genesis sedans and SUVs are the finest on the road today. You visit the all-new Genesis showroom, Highway 98 West in Hattiesburg. More with the great Marchant Kenney on the SuperTalk Eagle Hour next.
Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel is a wholesaler and distributor that has been powering our community for over 20 years. With everything from conduits to tape, tools to home automation devices, if you can think of it, we supply it. All you need to do is talk us through the project at hand, and we'll ensure you're equipped to get it done right. To get all the electrical supplies you need, visit Robinson Electric at 519 North 13th Avenue or call us at 601-649-1317.
Hey, Southern Miss fans, TrustCare Health is proud to support the Golden Eagles and help keep our community in top shape, whether you're cheering at the Rock or the Peak. TrustCare has your back with convenient walk-in clinics and top-notch care for your urgent, primary, and kids' care needs. From game day injuries to everyday health needs, TrustCare is your go-to team. Visit us in Hattiesburg and Laurel, and let's keep the spirit of Southern Miss soaring to the top. Visit TrustCareHealth.com for more details. TrustCare Health. Feel better faster.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
All right, I want to thank our good friends at Campus Bookmart on Hardy Street for their sponsorship of the second segment every day. Campus Bookmart, where you get all your Southern Miss apparel. You can shop online anywhere in the world on campusbookmart.net. Don't forget about our podcast. Thousands of you are tuning in every month. We're really grateful to you for that. Apple, Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, or you can tell Alexa or Siri to play the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Marchant Kenney really needs no introduction from me, of course. I said that earlier, but he played from 1994 to 1997, including the 1997 team, which could arguably be said maybe the best football team Southern Miss has ever put on a field. And
Coach Bauer said it. Coach Bauer said it, Bob. That's all I need.
Well, that's good enough for me, and that's pretty high cotton there, because there have been some pretty good teams, and that 97, I'll never forget that year. You guys just decimated the opponent in the Liberty Bowl. It was a great year, no question.
And not so fast, my friend. But I'll go on record and say the 81 Southern Miss team is the greatest of all time. You just look at their season, what they did. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And Reggie Collier, thank God I have to play against him.
Marchant, before I move on, and we talk about this a lot on the show, Kelly and I are kind of on up there in age, and in a way we have sympathy for the young Southern Miss fan base, because I don't think they really have a true appreciation of just how magnificent Southern Miss football was in the 80s and 90s, do they?
You just can't really grab how cool it was to be in Hattiesburg back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, you talk about Eagle fever in the 80s and then the 90s, we're on the map. At that point, we were G5, all that stuff they call now. We were the best G5 football program in America. So good that Ole Miss and Mississippi State refused to play us. It's different now.
Right.
You know, we don't play them. You can say it now, but they refused to play us. And I promise you they didn't want us in 97. I can promise you that. So, but it was cool because it was like, excuse my language, I won't curse, but it was like an FUSEC vibe.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Y'all can go up there and do your SEC stuff. We're here at the Rock, you know, middle finger to the SEC in a way.
Right.
And it felt like that. And when Patrick Surtain, when I felt it, was in 97 in Houston, that Houston game when we won 33-0.
Mm-hmm.
Surtain, you know, the hit, knocks the guy's helmet off, and you know, I remember looking up at the stands and felt like a gladiator, bloodthirsty. It was so good.
I think
it used to be cool, man.
I think he knocked his mouthpiece and a couple of teeth out too, if I remember correctly.
He had a dental trip right after the game. Had a dental trip, the wide receiver. Yes, he did. How's he doing? Somebody find out how guy's doing. Give him a best.
A dental trip. Okay. All right, Marchant. It's obviously 2025. I want you to look at the landscape of college football. It's so different than the era that you played in. When a fan like me could follow a player like you all through your career and see you develop, and it seemed like everybody played for their university, for their team, for their heritage. Look at college football now and give me Marchant Kenney's view of the state of the game.
When I look at college football right now, it's still got the excitement. It's still got the pageantry, the grandeur, the tradition of the schools and things like that. But in a lot of cases, and I get it, and I felt this a lot, if you're not about the brand itself, like really just a brand, and it doesn't matter all this stuff going on over here, there, you know, these players, they're coming and going. They just come and go. And, you know, you talk back to my teams, the early 2000s teams, you know, these guys were here. They built stories, legacies, and what have you. You know, Frank Gore, awesome guy because he stayed around, you know, and he'll be a Hall of Famer, go down in history as a legacy was built here, but you just don't see that a lot. And that's a part of the game you miss, really getting to know the players and really getting to know them, and they're off at another school. So it's just I found I have to be really about the brand, even more than the player-centric. I'll cheer them on, absolutely, but the lock-in with the player, you really locked in, it could be gone the next year. Back when I played, also getting on the transfer portal, NIL, and what have you, we didn't get paid. Couldn't even have a day job if you're on a scholarship, and that hurt. So when they announced several years ago that they're going to start paying players, I was all for it. And the transfer portal in certain scenarios, I got it, I get it, but there was no regulations, as you know, Bob, and that has alienated a lot of people from really loving the game of college football. You know, it just turned into the Wild Wild West, and that got a little frustrating, you know, here with, so I got to pay the players now, But I'm all for players getting paid, but definitely should be regulated, and Trump just signed the executive order where it's not just like a true pay for play, you know, it's endorsements, all sorts of other things, but more regulation being done, and where the players can still get paid, they should. There's too much money made in college football off of not to, but to where, you know, it just feels a little more, okay, we're getting back to basics here, and it's just a good feeling. But, yeah, the Wild Wild West, I know it really ticked off a lot of college football fans. And the transfer portal and the NIL separate were great, but when they joined forces, then you had a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. Are you at all, and the Southern Miss Marshall thing is really a fascinating thing to watch, because probably no school in the country, and I may be wrong about this, but no school in the country has seen as many players from one team change teams, and obviously they were following their head coach. What's your thought about that? Does that bother you in any way, or do you think that just speaks to the loyalty the kids have to the coach as opposed to the university?
In this day and age with coaches leaving, I guess in perspective, that specific example, if Coach Bauer would have picked up and left and wanted me to go with him, how are you going to talk me out of doing that? You know, I mean, it's Jeff Bauer, his father figure to me. And Coach Huff, currently, I mean, you see the players interviewed who left Marshall, came over here. They are tied to Coach Huff.
Correct.
You know, nothing against the university, but it's the relationships that are built in the university that make a difference. You can go to school anywhere, but you meet somebody there that grabs you and like, man,
yeah,
this is it. Well, that's what Coach Huff, man. These guys left the Sun Belt Championship team to a 1-11 football team, which should make Southern Miss fans stick their chest out. But, they're champs, but they're coming over here because we're Southern Miss, and they know when it's good, when it's great, it's better than what they all got.
Yeah. Is it maybe fair to say that it's an unfair comparison? Because interesting again what you said. You would have gone with Jeff Bauer, and I remember how you guys loved Coach Bauer. I mean, there was really no question about that. But had circumstances been then what they are now, you'd have probably seen the same thing back in your era.
Oh, absolutely. People just heading off, and, maybe not everybody's that dedicated, to Coach Bauer back then. I can't speak for everybody, and, turnover left and right. And that would have hurt back then for sure. But, and I've admitted, I'll be brutally honest. I mean, even going to my senior year, say an SEC school would offer me, a couple $100,000, Bob, I'm still human. That would have been very tempting. I'll just tell you that right now.
Of course. I mean, man,
I'm not saying I would left. Coach Bauer kicked my butt. I know that.
No, you can't blame kids for taking huge amounts of money that the average guy never sees his whole life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, that sets you up for the future money, and and I'm glad the young men are getting paid nowadays, but just so there's a little bit more regulation to everything, please.
Yeah. No. I think we're both. I think we're both on the same page about that. All right, a couple minutes left. I want to hear Marchant Kenney's prediction for the opener, because that's the game that already the community's buzzing. I've had 1,000 people ask me, Marchant, can Southern Miss beat Mississippi State? And I say cautiously to them, yes, but now it's not going to be easy. What do you say?
We are going to beat Mississippi State at the Rock. Get to the Rock. Enjoy the moment that we've been waiting for so long. Everything's set up for success. Get to the Rock. Watch the win in person.
See, that is a very clear yes from you, correct? They're going to win the opening game.
Bauer used to tell us we'd be playing, number 5 Florida State, 4 Florida State back then. Everybody on the team won the first round. We're winning. Dang right we are. We're winning. Yeah.
I think one advantage that Southern Miss has, though, is that transfer of players. They're used to the system, where Mississippi State's got a lot of new players that may not be so used to their system. Is that significant at all?
I don't know about system because guys are adjusting a lot. They know they have to adjust when they make the moves. It's just how fast can you make the kids gel. And I don't know the message coming from that coaching staff, but I know this one is pretty direct and in ways, there's not a lot of complicated terms to it. You do this, and it seems like everybody's on board. And it could be a freight train, coming right at you. Mississippi State at the Rock.
Yeah, so it's going to be fascinating. All right, before I let you go, I don't know what your plans are. I know you're going to be at the game, but we're going to be doing a 2-hour show the Friday before the opener at Buffalo Wild Wings that afternoon. And we'd love to have you come sit in with us for a while, Marchant, if you're going to be in town.
What? Me talk to you guys on air? Absolutely. I'd love that, Bob. We'll see you then.
All right.
Hey, real quick before I get off air, I got 30, 40 seconds?
Sure.
Okay, Bob. So the season tickets for football are right at about 10,000 right now, with a goal of at least getting another 1,000, which will get them to 11K,
right,
give or take, which would be only the second time in school history to reach the 11K mark. Watch history. Watch us, get the voodoo, the curse off of the Rock against Mississippi State. Get out there.
There we go. We love you, Marchant. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Love you too, Bob. Southern Miss to the top.
All right. The great Marchant Kenney, everybody, on the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. We'll be right back.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Looking for a great place to eat lunch? 4th Street Bar and Grill. They serve it Monday through Friday. Good Southern food, big hearty portions for all you working guys that listen to the Eagle Hour. Your drink, your dessert, it's all included in one low price, and the food is always delicious. Different food every day, of course. 4th Street Bar and Grill, and a great place to have lunch and then walk around and look at all the Southern Miss memorabilia. Thanks to Marchant Kenney for coming on the show. Our next guest is one of, well, in this job, I've gotten to meet a lot of people in Hattiesburg over the past however many years it's been, and no nicer, better person than my next guest, Patrick Irby, who owns Anatomies and is a great friend of SuperTalk, and I'm happy to say a friend of mine as well. And been too long, man. How are you, Patrick?
Man, I am doing so good, Mr. Bob. How have you been?
Well, I've been doing great. I mean, I do good, feel good, and work out regularly, which I was taught to do at your fine establishment down there. My wife is a regular attendee of morning classes, so Anatomies makes things good for us and for a lot of people. Patrick, it's like 150 degrees outside, and I know it's difficult for people to get out and exercise and do the things that they need to do to protect their health and their well-being in the heat. But there are a lot of things you can do indoors at your organization, and talk just a little bit about advice you might have in general for people who want to maintain their exercise regimen, but perhaps do it outside a lot, and now the heat is making that a little harder.
Oh yeah, it's been hot, and I tell you, August, it's just going to get a little hotter, or it gets a little cooler. So, the intelligent thing to do, if you're an outdoor type person and you love to do things outdoors, is get out before the heat. Start earlier in the day if you run or whatever, and then increase your hydration, maybe decrease your duration under the peak of the heat. Those simple common sense things. But the benefits of like coming here is you're walking into an acclimated space, and then also the variety. So you're able to continue, if not even enhance, your workout regimen by choosing to come in indoors, having a lot of options available for you to vary your routine so you don't get stuck in the same pattern. And that broadening your fitness horizons can be very beneficial. And then just beating the heat. So you're gonna stay on the equipment longer, and you'll be around people who are on the same mission, and that always produces good results because you're motivated just seeing the people next to you trying to improve their lives as well.
Patrick, you and I have talked about this a lot. I actually heard a doctor yesterday on a news story say that that the key to good life in the latter part of your life, your adult and older into senior citizen days, is movement, is not to sit still, is to keep your body moving, keep your body engaged physically in an activity. And I know you say there's really nothing more important, is there?
Oh, that's one of the top on the list. There's no doubt about it. And because, everything that lives moves. A plant will follow the sun as it goes across the horizon, and we're designed to move. And when you don't move, you go into a state of atrophy, and it not only impairs your ability to enjoy the most out of life as you age, but it also accelerates the aging process and makes it a lot more likely, increases the risk of preventable illness. Mm-hmm. So, you need to move. And the key is to find the things you love to do. Find those things and either do that or supplement your lifestyle with exercise that allows you the opportunities to do that, whatever it is.
Right. What is the message to people that I know there's some listening to this show right now who want to do that, who know that's what they need to do, but taking that first step is so difficult for them, and then sticking with it after you've taken the first step?
Yeah, the sticking with it part is really where it's said and done, and it comes down to, it's so hard, it's so easy for me, and I don't want to sound like I'm taking things for granted or like I know something that the next person doesn't. But it just comes down to commitment. And we all of us, no matter who we are, we will place an emphasis on the time available and the resources available to the things that are important to us. And you know, my advice is you have to make your health an importance and your longevity. I mean, because if not, then the preventable illness that you're going to struggle with, and it's just a matter of time, and the impairments that prevent you from living life to the fullest. I mean, that's ultimately going to be decisions that you made either by the continuing of ingesting foods that have poor nutrition quality, or the unwillingness to embrace some type of physical activity. And it's so hard and so threatening for someone who hasn't lived that lifestyle already. But it's why we're here. And the team here, 55 team members from one end of this building to the next, and they're all committed to helping in any way that we can, helping a person get into that place to where not only are they approaching it today with less trepidation and the proper guidance, but it becomes a lifestyle, so that it's just part of who you are. Right. And I think the payoff is huge, dividends.
Right, and you don't have to be young. I'm not going to reveal her age or her friends' ages, but my wife and a group of people who have become her friends come to one of your early morning classes. I think it's like 8:30 in the morning. And I've watched her now. She's been doing this for, I don't know, maybe close to a year now, I guess, since she got back involved. And I watch my wife. Her mobility is so much better than other people I see her age. And it's improved so much. In fact, she loves to kind of rub it in my face. She'll be sitting on the couch and pull her leg up, to her neck and ask me if I can do that, which clearly I can't. But not only from a physical standpoint, but I can see from an emotional standpoint how much she has grown in attending this class.
I was going to tell you. Yeah, I was going to agree. It's like it's more than physical. The impact that it's made, because she was very active, a little ways back, and then, right. And she kind of stepped out. I think some things came up, and right. It was hard for her to get back into it. So there was several years there where we weren't seeing her, and I would say within 3 months, 3 months of her coming back, that it's almost like she is a new, born again almost. At the risk of sounding cliche. No. And that's the victory right there. It's not going to turn the clock back, but it will sure turn that inner clock. You have what is the word? You have your real age, and then you have the age where I forget the terminology there. Off the top of my mind, but she has definitely turned back time in that sense. And she's a different person. And what? We need to have her on the show. Let her speak for herself.
Well, we'll get her. Feels. Yeah, she's not shy, as you know.
That'd be wonderful.
One thing she's not is shy. Heck, she's brought other people to the class. She's recruited one. She recruited one of her baseball friends, and there's a gentleman that sits down in front of us at baseball, Patrick, and he comes to the class, and they're always conversing, and you can tell it's a brotherhood almost, and that's open to anybody that wants to come down and just talk with no obligation to you and your staff members at your wonderful facility. Am I right about that?
Right. That's right. And we have a whole department that's, the whole purpose is to get you connected. Let's find the things you love to do. We're not going to force you into a program that you hate, and that doesn't work for anybody, right. But to find the things that you love to do, find what you're trying to accomplish, help draw a straight line between where you're at and where you want to be, walk with you through the process, and in any way that we're able to help you with that. Because, and it's like your wife is like, once you get it, and you're like, man, why would not everybody want to do this?
Correct.
You can't help but talk about it.
No, correct. You
can't help but share it.
That's absolutely right. So there's a program for everybody of every age at Anatomies, and Patrick, it's cool inside, is it not?
Mostly. I'll tell you, it gets hard to cool the building when it's 100 outside. But, oh, yeah, all you got to do, if you're not sure the air's working, just walk outside for a minute and come back in.
Yeah.
You'll learn. It's like, oh, yeah, we're working.
One thing real quickly, I'm running out of time, but occasionally her class goes in there in boxes. That worries me a little bit. She starts trying to spar with me in the kitchen, and I have to back away, Patrick. I'm afraid that.
Well, I've seen her in that class, and all I can say, Bob, is you need to be worried. You need to be worried.
Oh, no, you're right. Hey, Patrick, it's always delightful to have you on the Eagle Hour, my friend. You're welcome in our studio anytime.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Bob.
All right, Patrick Irby, everybody, owner of Anatomies Fitness Club. Check them out. Go to their website, their Facebook page, and see what might be in store for you. I think you'll be very happy when you hook up with the good folks at Anatomies. All right, golf news and some other stuff when we come back.
Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel is a wholesaler and distributor that has been powering our community for over 20 years. With everything from conduits to tape, tools to home automation devices, if you can think of it, we supply it. All you need to do is talk us through the project at hand, and we'll ensure you're equipped to get it done right. To get all the electrical supplies you need, visit Robinson Electric at 519 North 13th Avenue or call us at 601-649-1317.
Hey, Southern Miss fans, TrustCare Health is proud to support the Golden Eagles and help keep our community in top shape, whether you're cheering at the Rock or the Peak. TrustCare has your back with convenient walk-in clinics and top-notch care for your urgent, primary, and kids' care needs. From game day injuries to everyday health needs, TrustCare is your go-to team. Visit us in Hattiesburg and Laurel, and let's keep the spirit of Southern Miss soaring to the top. Visit TrustCareHealth.com for more details. TrustCare Health. Feel better faster.
The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
Hey, welcome back. I want to thank our guest today, Patrick Irby from Anatomies Fitness Club, and, of course, the great Marchant Kenney, and happy to say both those guys are good buddies to all of us out here at SuperTalk, Mississippi, and we always enjoy conversations with them. DBAT sponsors this segment of the program, DBAT on Hardy Street. Luke Reynolds is the manager. It is a great place for baseball, softball training, indoor batting cages, 40-yard dash facility. They got great trainers. They've got great experts that can help make anybody's game better at DBAT on Hardy Street. We're very fortunate to have such a great institution here in Hattiesburg, and we certainly thank DBAT for their sponsorship of our program. Hey, I want to also thank Be Quick here in Hattiesburg. They're about to wrap up their 60th anniversary, I think, day after tomorrow. You've still got a couple of days to stop by the Be Quick Shell Station at the corner of 98 and Hegwood Road. Get a Buffalo decal for the back window of your vehicle. Spotters up until the last day are going to be looking for those decals. Then winners are going to be announced. 4 big winners. Somebody's going to win a Saints football experience. That sounds pretty good. A Mossy Oak shopping spree for you hunters, a Royal Caribbean cruise for 4, or a Biloxi offshore fishing trip. Proud supporters of Southern Miss is Be Quick. And again, they're happy to help you celebrate their 60th anniversary. MCS Home Center is out in Bellevue. It's at 7329 US 98 West in Hattiesburg. Happy to let you know that we just closed a deal today. We will be there on the Thursday before the opening of football season. Let's see, that will be, let me pull my notes up here, bear with me. I'm going to try to give you a date here very quickly. August 28th. We'll be there Thursday, August 28th, and right now it looks like it's going to be a great opportunity for you to meet some really key members of the football team. It looks like we're going to have Braylon Braxton and Josh Moten join us for the show out there that day. So everything looks like it's in place. Be your opportunity to come meet these 2 young men who are a big part of Southern Miss football this year, and that'll be the Thursday before football season. That Friday, we'll be doing a special 2-hour event from Buffalo Wild Wings. So going to be really busy the opening week of football, and it's our hope that you can join us each and every day for those great events. All right, let's get to golf. Southern men's golfer Bill Burnham, he's out of Jackson, Mississippi, earned a spot on the 2024-25 Cobalt Golf Division I All-American Scholarship Team Tuesday morning. That announced by the Golf Coaches Association of America. An individual must be at least a sophomore in both academic and athletic standings and must participate in 50% of their team's competitive rounds, having a stroke average of under 76 in Division I, while maintaining a minimum cumulative grade point average, that's hard to say, of 3.2 to be eligible for the award. A recipient must also be of high moral character and be in good standing with the university. Burnham is a transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He played his first season with the Golden Eagles this year. He played all 33 rounds. He averaged 73.52 strokes per round. He collected 8 rounds of par or below golf and enjoyed a season-low circuit of 69. His top finish was a 15th place tie in the Sun Belt Conference Championship. This year marks the 12th year in a row that a Southern Miss golfer enjoyed at least one All-American Scholarship Award, and the 5th consecutive year that they have enjoyed multiple recipients. And congratulations to that young man. As I scan over here, last year we had 1, the year before 3, the year before that 2, and 1921 3, and Bill Burnham representing the university in 2025. Okay, I want to remind you about the Pine Belt News. It's a go-to source for news and sports coverage here in the Pine Belt. You can also explore their other publication, which is Signature Magazine. You can get the Pine Belt News delivered to your home for just $35 a year or $55 annually. If you live outside Forest or Lamar counties, you can follow the Pine Belt News on all social media platforms, or you can visit their website at hubcityspokes.com. And as always, we want to thank all of our great sponsors that make the show possible. You hear a lot of their commercials run during the show on all of our affiliate stations, and we're very grateful to them for that. And, of course, we want to thank Southern Bancorp. That's the great bank in Midtown that allows us to broadcast from the Southern Bancorp studio here in Oak Grove. A lot of former Southern Miss baseball players run that bank down there, so that's yet another reason to do business with our good friends at Southern Bancorp, and we really do appreciate that. Also, I'm going to mention Lee Roberts to you because Lee will be joining us here in the next few weeks as our football analyst, as he has done for the past several years. We look forward to that, and we still have coming in the next 2-3 weeks, we have interviews with every coach from the Sun Belt Western Conference. We also have the coaches from the East, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, and the other Appalachian State, the other Eastern Division school that will be playing the Golden Eagles. And we'll be bringing all of that to you as we count down here to the start of football season, which now is really starting to get close. As always, thank you very much for listening to the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. We couldn't do the show without you, and we're very grateful to you. Until next time, Southern Miss to the top.
Slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.